How's it going, YouTube? Dong here. In this video, we're going to do number 347, top k frequent elements. So given an integer array nums and an integer k, return the k most frequent elements. You may return the answer in any order, right? So we have a nums 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and k is equal to 2, so we're returning 1, 2, because 1 appears 3 times and 2 appears twice, right? And here we have nums 1 is equal to k plus 1 and 1. So there's a couple steps that we need to do here, and so let's try to list them out. We first need to determine what is the frequency of each element, right? So we need to determine how many times a number has appeared in the particular array. What's the next step? Well, we also want to determine, how to get those elements k times, right? So these are the two main issues that we have in order to solve this problem. Well, how do we deal with them? Well, if we wanted to determine the frequency of each element, an easy way we could do is a hash map. Where here, for example, we could store, say, 1, and then key value pair 3, 2, 2, and then 3, 1, right? And that way we can keep track of the frequency of each element. Now once that's in place, all we really need to do is figure out how to get those elements k times. So whenever you have a problem where it's asking you to get a certain element k amount of times, that's a good indication that we're probably going to use a heap, right? So basically what's going to happen here is you have 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. We put it into our hash map. 1, 3, 2, 2, and 3, 1. And then we take the frequency of the elements and we yank them out k times and put it in our answer, right? So in this case, we'd have a final answer of 1, 2, or 2, 1. Doesn't really matter in this case because the order is relatively irrelevant here, right? So without further ado, let's code up the solution here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to initiate our hash map, which I'm just going to call hash map, just so it makes a little bit more sense. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to make it a little bit more pretty. So for num in nums, we want to take out all the values of the hash map, right? So hash map num is equal to hash map dot get, and we're going to go num 0, starting at 0, plus 1. Alright, so if we print out the hash map, we can see that it conveniently gets us all the values and the amount of times it occurs, right? Alright, so now our next area of business is to deal with the heap, right? So we're going to call a min heap, and we're going to initiate it to an empty array, right? And now we have to get all the values into our min heap, right? So how do we do that? So we're going to launch a for loop. So for num frequency in hashmap.items. And the reason why we do this is simply because we want to put it into a format in which we can actually get the elements, because it is a dictionary, it is a hash map. So now we want to push the values into the heap. In heap num and frequency. So what this is going to result in is going to result in, you know, the numbers and the frequencies occurring in our array. So we had our hash map here, and you know, we have our 1, 3, then we have our 2, or not double dot, 2, and then we have our 3, 1. So this is what's going to happen inside of the heap here. This is really, really ugly, but you kind of get the point, right? So now we had to take out the values k times, right? So if the length of the min heap is greater than k, we're going to pop elements away from the min heap. So heap pop min heap, so that we can get the k amount of elements that occur inside of our array, right? So the last area of business that we have to take care of is to put all the values of our min heap into the final answer array. Put all the answer values, I'll call it k answers, into our final array. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to initiate an answer variable here in the empty array, and then we're going to set a while min heap is basically still valid. We're going to do answer.append. We're going to do heap pop min heap. Oops. Then we're going to do the 0th element. And then lastly, we're going to return the answer. Oh, that should be 1. There you go. So you want to take out the first element rather than the 0th element, right? Because the first element is actually going to be the number, as opposed to the second element that's going to be our so the number here is going to be the number, but we want the frequency here. So if you wanted to switch it around, that would probably make a little bit more sense, but I'm going to leave it as is. So if we click submit, oh, where did we go wrong here? Oh, of course. So this should be frequency no. And there we go. So that's the answer. So if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.